Okay, so what I was going to say is something to take into account is these edges are, even though I've cut this up to occupy different panels or different separate UV space, they still have a relationship to each other on the model. So, like where the neck connects to the head right here, I want to treat it the same over here. So, I need to go find those same edges. So I'm going to zoom in down here. And they have a lot less texture area. I'm going to go to my brush tool. I'm going to kind of fade that in a little bit, smudge it up a little bit, and try to make that match up so that when it gets back into 3D, it doesn't look like a seam. Now, this can be really tricky and very annoying at times. Okay, so let's say this is kind of enough for now. So I need to turn off my UVs layer because I don't want those to show up as part of my texture. And then I'll save it. I'll save this as a Photoshop file. Actually, I used the wrong hotkey. Let me cancel. I'm going to just press Control S. And this is my swan. This isn't just my UV, so I'll call it my swan texture. And it's a PSD file. And instead of saving it to the images folder, I'm going to save it to my source images folder, meaning it's going to be used in the production as a final product. Okay, so now with that saved, I can switch back into Maya and set down my pen. And I want to go ahead and apply a new material to this. So go to Assign New Material. I'm going to assign a blend. It's the most versatile of the materials. And then I have a texture map that I want to use in place of my color. So I can get rid of this gray by clicking on the checker box. And I want to add a file. Okay. And then once that loads up, I have this PSD file text1. Probably should go ahead and rename it to swan underscore PSD file texture. Then I'll click on this folder. And I still haven't set my project, so I'm going to cancel. Actually, let me set my project first. I'm getting tired of having to do too much navigation. Okay, so it takes me to the right place. Go to Source Images, and there's my swan texture. Click Open, and now it's applied. Okay, it's kind of hard to see because it's really shiny right now. So I need to go into my texture, my material file. I'm going to go ahead and rename this from blend 2 to swan underscore blend. And I need to change the eccentricity. Probably change that up actually. And then the specular color, I'm going to turn that down so it doesn't affect the model so much. It's not really going to be a reflective surface, and we'll get into these more later, but for now I'm just trying to get it so I can preview what I did in Photoshop. And I can see that I overshot quite a ways on the eye here. If they are darker around the eyes anyhow. So in reality, I'd want to go find a picture of a swan that I liked, and I would want to reference that as I'm painting my texture. And if I found a really good one, I might be able to even use that picture as my texture. I can just place that in Photoshop, save my file, and that picture will be placed on top of the swan, in my case. Well, in your case, it might be, anything else. But something I did do right is I got this little piece of rubbery skin right above the nose. But you'll notice that it didn't catch on the other side. Let me do this, because I only painted one half, and that's what I'm talking about, seams. You can also see there's a seam right here in the neck where I didn't paint it correctly. In fact, I might have even painted the wrong part of the mesh. I might have painted the wrong end of the neck. So anyway, and that's texture painting basically. We'll go over more of this if I feel like it's necessary in the class. Okay.